What is up? I am Miguel Antonio, and this is the Live and Create podcast. It's where I interview artists and entrepreneurs about what it means to live a great life and create great things. And this is the pre-COVID edition. It's a series of interviews I did back in fall of 2019, and even though a whole lot of life has happened in between, I still wanted to get these folks' stories out to you because I think it will bring you some great value. On today's episode, we have Clayton. Crystal is an LA-based artist and songwriter. In this episode, she unpacks her journey of moving from Kansas City to LA for the purpose of developing her own personal artistry, and she shares all the struggles and all the joys that come alongside that. We also dive into a whole bunch of different topics. We talk about the value of surrounding yourself with like-minded people. We talk about her songwriting process, and we talk about all the different things that she's learning from the business side of music. I hope you guys enjoy. It's great catching up with Crystal. Just as a heads up, we filmed this in a public park there in LA, and so you're going to hear some dogs in the background. If you're watching the video, you're going to see some weird cameos of people jumping up and down, doing weird things. But nonetheless, hope you guys enjoy.
The Live and Create podcast.
Now, where are you from originally?
I was born in LA.
Oh, really?
I was born in Torrance, and we moved to Kansas City when I was really little.
Okay.
Because my dad's from Kansas City.
Right on.
So I grew up in like Blue Springs area.
Okay.
Yeah, like Independence, Blue Springs.
But coming back to LA was kind of a homecoming in that way. So.
Yeah.
Right
yeah.
on.
I mean, I always wanted to come back to LA. I always knew I wanted to come back to LA at some point. And I love it, but I kind of, I don't know, I miss home too. I miss like the fall, fall weather and like the trees changing, the season changing. I miss that, but you know. Yeah.
Here I saw like the big chunks that come off. What's coming off the palm trees? I saw some
Oh yeah, like little, I don't even know what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, so that's like your leaves falling.
I
here.
guess.
I think we had a cameo at some point where somebody jumped in the shot.
Oh.
But yeah, so we'll go and dive in and
Okay.
just with the most important, serious question that we could tackle this whole time. Okay?
Yeah.
So if Pancake and French Toast had a fight, who would win?
I think French Toast would win just because it's got some egg batter on there, like a little more like oomph, a little more power, I think.
Yeah. Something to fight with in a way.
Yeah. I think French Toast.
Nice.
Yeah.
We might get a dog cameo here in a second.
I'm okay with that though. I'll be like,
we'll bring it in.
Yeah.
So thanks again for making the time. I appreciate it. Out here we got the palm trees. I don't know if the palm trees are in the shot, but maybe I'll have to just throw some in there. But yeah, so you've been almost a year here in LA, and so as you continue to grow your music career, I just wanted to dive in a little bit, like making the move from Kansas City to LA. What did that look like for you? What inspired it, and what ultimately kind of tipped you over the edge where this has to happen?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think in this day and age, you can actually make a career for yourself in music anywhere. I think you don't necessarily have to be in a big city.
Right.
For me, I think ever since I was a little kid, I always knew that I wanted to move to LA.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, I was born out here and then we moved back, and I think I always just knew someday I'm gonna move back to LA. So
it was calling you in a way?
It was calling me, and I was just now, it's now or never. We got to do this. It's just, I really was just looking for inspiration, and I was looking to delve more into the scene. I mean, to be honest, I think that my music is more accepted here. So when I do my live shows, when I do perform out, I think I'm able to draw more of an audience. I feel like I'm able to captivate my audience better.
Yeah. Got more of a West Coast vibe.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a little more of a groove. The scene, the music scene in Kansas City, it just wasn't really I wasn't the best fit with it.
Gotcha.
So I think
kind of like the dog, like this dog right now.
Yeah, this dog.
He's not the best fit for the video.
He's not the best fit.
But no, so in a sense, if I hear you right, you're kind of finding the place where you would fit best. Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So I think it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's been a really great growth experience for me. I think I've been able to really just be inspired and learn a lot about myself, and It's really cool.
What have been some of the big like takeaways or ahas since you moved to LA? Anything that sticks out to you?
Big takeaways or ahas. I think probably just that people out here are so motivated and so like on to the next thing, And
Like artists specifically, or just everyone? They're like, let's get this shit done.
A lot of artists are, yes, but like everybody, I just think that there's more of like in this energy of like movement, and it kind of made me realize that I haven't really, my aha, I guess, would be that for a while with my music career, I wasn't putting in as much effort as I should have or could have. And so it's just like, you know, when you're around people who are at a certain level, like you are striving to be at that level. So it definitely is like a motivator.
Yeah, that's I record in Nashville sometimes, and it's been huge for me because every time I go, I realize like even the person serving me coffee is like 70 times better than me at guitar, and so it's like such an inspiration to where it's like, shit, I need to like hustle, you know, and it's real. So that's cool to hear you're finding that community here. What's it been like jumping into the music scene here? Was it tough at first, or did you find some connections early on?
It's still tough, honestly. I mean, I have found some connections. I found like a little bit of I've met some really cool people and like been able to work with some really cool people, and but I'm still like learning, and I still have a lot of networking to do. I still
Don't we all?
Yeah, and to be honest, sometimes I'm kind of a homebody, and I don't want to like. A lot of times, and I work nights too, so
that's tough. That
makes it... so like, you know, a lot of events happen at night.
You're like, I could go to the late jam.
Right.
That's where we can hang out. Is that kind of deal, or?
Honestly, by the time because the place that I work, we close at midnight. Yeah. So by the time I get out of there, like there are no late jams, and if they are, they're sketch.
You're like, I am not going to that one.
Right. No. So yeah.
Well, I love hearing that too, because it's like the perspective of the grind of an actual artist, right? So like, what would a typical day look like for you right now as you're trying to break into this whole new scene, whole new market?
Typical day, I'm not gonna lie, I sleep in a little bit because I work so late.
You gotta get that rest.
So
I slept for 11 hours on Monday.
Wow.
I had a day, it was just a travel day, so I got to sleep in till like 11 in the morning. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
So
yeah.
Sleep can pay off. Well done.
Yeah, you know, but like I try not to too much because I don't want to waste my day. So, you know, I get up and then I just immediately start like watching marketing videos, like learning, you know, trying to learn everything I can about like marketing music and distribution.
Sorry, these dogs are killing me. I don't even know if the mic is picking them up. There probably is, but it's really funny that they keep going. Sorry.
Well,
so
really
you wake up,
Anyways.
Marketing videos.
Yeah. And then
educating yourself.
So sometimes, and then like I'll start like working on one of my songs, maybe like writing a bit more. Maybe I will like try to do like a little cover, like an Insta cover.
Okay.
And then, or maybe like if my boyfriend, he does a lot of my like photography and videography. Okay. So like if he doesn't have to work in the morning, then maybe we'll like try to go get in a photo shoot real quick before I go to work. I usually go into work at like 4:30 or like 7:15. So sometimes like the 7:15 is like a little later, so I have more time.
Yeah.
But
you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Get a little more writing in.
Yeah, exactly. But and that's like pretty much how my life has been going. I've done like some cool shows though. Like I was saying to you earlier, I did.
Talk to me about that one again. We were talking a little bit about it beforehand. But.
Right. Yeah. So it's something. This guy that I met at. And that's what's really cool too, though, is because you'll like meet somebody out, and then like you won't really realize that person, if you stay connected with them, like they can open you up to other opportunities.
Absolutely.
So I met this guy out at this music event. called The Basement that they have here in LA. And then we just like talked over social media a bit, and then he invited me to do this performance with a bunch of other artists, and it was like the first one that this guy was putting together. He's trying to do like a production company, like a booking agency kind of.
Yeah.
So it was like his first showcase, and it was me and like maybe 3 or 4 other artists. And there was a lot of people there, and it was really cool.
That's
and it was
legit.
right off of Hollywood. It was like maybe 2 weeks ago, and there was a lot of people there, and they like loved my music, and they were vibing with it like really hard. And I was like, you're my type of people, like, yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. So it went really well, and
That's awesome. So you originally met this guy on like through Instagram?
no,
or
we
did you
met
meet him
at a it's kind of like a networking event, but they like have performances and stuff. It's called The Basement, and
Oh,
it's
sorry.
like,
I thought The Basement was the show thing. My bad. I wasn't tracking.
oh,
with you.
it's like it's like an event that's put together by a lot of like actually like industry people, like A&Rs and like music managers. Like they put this
Nice.
performance on. So I'm like, someday, like hopefully soon I'll get on that performance. But yeah, you know, it's just like a lot of networking and meeting people and just like, I don't know.
Seeing what doors kind of open through
Yeah,
that.
and just like making real connections too, because a lot of it is fake out here, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people
People are
aren't-
just like, here's my card, give me a
right,
call.
exactly.
We're best friends. Kind
Exactly. But like if you put like the effort into these relationships and like actually like, you know, actually invest, then and not be fake, because people can tell when you're fake. So you
It
know.
comes through, even if
Yeah.
you're good at it first, over time, it's like, you're not legit. You're not
Yeah,
real.
for sure.
Well, and that's, as I keep going, these, what you talk about, like the relationships, the real relationships are the ones that seem to continue to grow. Even like my band ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was people who I'd met through that, but then after about a year, I started getting texts like, hey, where you been? What's going on? And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, those were the real relationships.
Right, yeah.
And that meant a lot. And then now those are the people I'm doing business again with too,
Right.
which is legit. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, earlier you were talking about ways that artists can really grow their business from anywhere,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
what does that look like for you when you're thinking about that concept?
For me, and that's why I watch like music marketing videos like every day. I don't know. Okay, so
I'm slacking. I
if
need
there's
to
a lot
step
of,
it up. I like it.
you need to check out this podcast called Burtismo.
What is it?
Burstimo.
Okay, right on.
Burtismo. They
I'll
have
throw
an
it in the
Instagram
notes, too.
account. They have like a YouTube account, and they give out like golden information for artists. Definitely need to check it out. They're British.
Nice. That
so I'm
helps.
sure
They just sound super smart.
They've got some nice accents.
There you
and,
go.
You know, like
Like
you write
obviously
this-
everything you say is brilliant. then,
Exactly.
at
I'm
that
like,
point.
I'm listening to you because you sound cool. Anyways, no, but for real though, they give out really great information. If you're an artist, you need to check them out. I watch videos of them all the time.
Okay. I'll check it out.
And I don't know, I'm still learning a lot. But I mean, like, there's this guy that I went to high school with, and he's killing it in the music scene right now. And he still lives, I'm pretty sure he still lives in, he might still live in Blue Springs too. Maybe.
But using social media.
But using
so
like
it's
YouTube, using like, you know, networking, and now he has like over 500,000 listeners on Spotify. He has
Damn.
like
Okay.
millions of listens on his songs. He somehow figured out a way to really like get it going, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And he didn't have to move to LA, which is great.
You're like, which is great.
Yeah, which is great. But I mean, no, I'm glad that I'm here, because for me, I needed inspiration. I
Yeah.
needed a change of scenery.
Well, it sounds like it was calling you almost. the
It
way
was
you
calling
described
me.
it.
Yeah. Yes. And I also have family out here. Like my grandpa lives south,
Nice.
you know, more of like the suburb areas, and I have some other family that lives down there too.
Okay.
So like for me, it was the right move. But for other artists, like, you do not necessarily have to move.
Right on.
But if you need the inspiration, you do.
No, I get that. That's like even right now, like
being on tour, I stopped writing for a while because I feel like my writing just became like I was writing the same song over and over
Yeah.
again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I need to go. I had a producer a while back when I was frustrated. He was like, no, you need to like stop writing. You need to go take your kids to the park and you need to like live some life. He's like, get back on the road, go do some other things. Like,
Yeah.
you need something to say if you're
Right.
not inspired where you're at. So
Yeah, for
I dig
sure.
that.
For sure. And I kind of get in like this weird like tunnel, I guess, in my brain. Because, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, like I have right now I have a verse of a song that I love. I'm obsessed with. And all I need is like a really great chorus. But for like the last couple weeks, I have not been able to find this chorus.
Like everything you put in, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not good enough because the verse is so good. Like the chorus has to be that good. You know what I mean? So in my brain, I'm like so obsessed with like finding this perfect chorus. But then I was just kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to let it breathe for a little while and like explore other things of life. And it's going to come.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's going to be there one day.
I get it. Yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
force some of that. I have one song that the lead single from my last band where it was like our most popular song, got us a lot of like whatever attention and all that.
Yeah.
And I started writing it 7 years prior, and I always had
Really?
the chorus, but every time I would write it, the chorus was what I loved. Everything else is what I hated. And it just went through iteration after iteration, and then I started incorporating other people, and they started bringing their input, which kind of grew it, and it literally took 7 years to like.
Oh my gosh,
But then another one
wow.
that was pretty popular on there, I wrote in like an hour on my own.
Isn't it funny?
Right before the EP. It's like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's
I-
so weird.
I wish I knew what was up on that. 'Cause
Right? Yeah.
How do I do the hour thing all the
Yeah.
time? That'd be great for my, I don't know, self-esteem. I don't know.
Right, yeah, no, I feel you. It's so funny. I wish I could like analyze my brain and figure out like what works best, but
What does your writing process look like right now? Obviously, right now you're letting this one rest a little bit, but
Yeah.
what's your typical writing process in this season?
I find when I try to force it, then it just doesn't really work out as well. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So I kind of wait until I have like a good little tune or something that I keep coming back to. I'll like record in my phone, in my voice memos, I'm sure. And you know what's funny? I was just talking to this girl about this the other day. When I was younger, before we had iPhones and like voice memos and stuff,
Right.
and I didn't really play guitar or anything, so I was trying to write songs. I would take my house phone and call myself and leave a voice message on my answering
So
machine.
iPhone saved your life, so you didn't have to
Yeah.
keep leaving your own messages. I
Yeah,
love that
exactly.
story.
Because I used
That's
to do
amazing.
that when I was little, and then I would go back and listen to my voice messages so that I could
Like,
remember
yeah,
my
that's
tunes.
the jam. Or ooh,
Yeah.
no, that's not
Exactly. But yeah, so now that we have iPhone, thank you. We have the iMessages, the iMemos.
Right.
And so I've recorded my memos a lot. Sometimes, it switches. Sometimes I write like that, and then sometimes I can like listen to a song if I really like a beat on a song.
Right.
Then I can go on YouTube and like find other beats that kind of, or like instrumentals that sound similar and like kind of write to that. And then of course strip it away and like not use that.
kind of test it out. Does it still survive without all
Right.
the
Yeah,
dressing
yeah.
in a sense?
Yeah, see how I like it, and then like I did that recently. There was a Snow Allegra song. She's like an R&B. She's an R&B singer.
Okay.
She recently put out a project. I was just listening to one of her songs, and I just started singing one of my songs over her like instrumental, and I was like, this sounds so good. I wasn't even thinking about using that song for anything.
Yeah.
But when I sang it over that instrumental, I was like, this is perfect. So then I was able to like connect with a producer and be like, okay, this is what I have in mind for it. And so we were able to work together to like figure out like how to go from there.
Right on.
And I do sometimes write on my guitar with like chords and such. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different variations.
Yeah, it sounds like different approaches, kind of how you're inspired in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, how often are you working with producers? Is it the same producer? Is it different producers?
So back in Kansas City, I was working with a producer, And then when I came out here, I was in a studio session. I did a studio session, and the girl who engineered the session, she turned out to be a producer.
Okay.
And so she produced my new single that I have coming out
Nice.
in like a week and a half.
Okay.
And then there's another guy from Kansas City, and he produced 2 songs for me.
Right on.
So I don't know. I just like working with different people, and you know, I love my Kansas City people. So I like try to involve, you know.
Just kind of on. So are you guys doing that online, or do you head back to KC to work with them?
Oh no, we've just been doing it like back and forth through like email and
Awesome.
you know, social media connection, and yeah. But he actually has a place out here in LA too. He travels
Perfect.
between. So I think we're gonna get together and record it soon out here.
That's awesome. There's one of the interviews I did in Houston was a writer, and they're doing. I think his other, like the other guy they're on a publishing deal with, is in like Charlotte, North Carolina or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they're constantly like, they have like some setup that's like Skype, but it's
Oh,
much
yeah.
faster. I forget what it was
Okay.
called, but that sounded pretty cool, where I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, this dude's doing like a full handstand." Sorry. That's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
I
don't
can't
have
do
that.
that. Can't do that. So you were talking about old school, like singing into your phone,
Yeah.
right? So when did you first start writing? Like how young were you, and what inspired that for you?
So I remember when I was like young trying to write songs, but like I didn't know how to like write notes and like write chords. So I would like, and I was like probably like 7 years old, you know. I was like, I remember like taking a pencil on a paper and like drawing like where I would go up and down, and like, and then
Here I'm going high,
Yeah.
I'm going low. That's awesome though. Like 7-year-old trying to
like,
figure that out.
oh my
I dig
gosh.
that. That's
and
awesome.
it like did not work. Like I would come back to it later and be like, but you know. And then so as I got older, I was a teenager. I was like probably like 14 or 15 when I like really started trying to write songs.
Yeah.
And then I just kept doing it, and some of my earlier songs were not good at all.
I get
but
that.
For some reason, I was just like, gotta keep going. And I just like kept making them, even though they weren't turning out that great. But for some reason, I just knew like someday it's gonna be great. Someday it's gonna come together. And
One
it's gonna
day,
be good.
I'm gonna find that
Yeah.
gem in the middle of all of it.
Yeah. So.
Right on. Was there someone like in particular that was maybe a mentor or an inspiration that kind of kept spurring you on, or was it more just an internal thing for you?
It was internal, but also I was lucky enough to have like a lot of support. My parents were supportive. I had a voice teacher that I took voice lessons from for like over 10 years, and she was like very supportive. And then I got connected with, do you remember Chapman Recording Studios?
Yeah, I remember the name. I never
Yeah.
really worked there, but
Okay.
I remember it going.
So when I really started trying to record my music, I was like a teenager, and I started working with this guy Rob Rebeck, and he would like help produce songs for me, and I guess he was kind of like a music mentor to me. He would like help, you know. And he was my engineer, and like, so that was cool.
Giving you feedback in the studio.
Yeah,
and
yeah. So just a lot of, I don't know, just a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
But always, I don't know, always keep going.
Always moving forward.
I would always keep going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So coming back to this move, right? Move to LA. What's been one of the hardest things since you got here?
I mean, like we were talking about, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Really, really expensive. I guess just like everybody out here is trying to make it. So there's a lot of competition, and it's kind of hard to get people to take you seriously. So
when
I guess
you say is it just they just look at you as just another person here trying to make it?
just
kind of
another
thing?
girl who moved to LA thinking she's gonna like become something, or you know
Gotcha.
what I mean. So like there's a lot of a lot of like self-esteem that I've had to like work on. But you know, I mean, it's just part of my journey as an artist and as a person, and just like I just think of it as like this is just part of my story, and like I try to like create from my story.
Right.
So it kind of fuels the fire a little bit and gives me more like, I'm gonna show them, you know, like.
Well, it seems like adversity can
write.
drive artistic expression in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, I'm just like really passionate about it.
What would you say has been the best part for you?
The best part? Meeting new people. I don't ever have to worry about like sliding on ice or snow.
That is true. That's
like,
legit.
That's nice. Yeah, and just like experiencing like it's like a different world out here. It was a shock to me when I first got out here. It just felt like, where am I? Like, this is a different world.
What piece was it that
just
felt
because like
so
there's
different
so
to you?
many, like the houses are so close together, there's so many cars, like driving is insane.
Yeah, well, that's like where I stayed last night. It was like 10 units all in one lot. That would have been one house, you know, where I live.
Yeah.
And then the next door was 3 like mini houses on one lot. I was like, damn, this is.
It's like everybody's
legit.
on top. We're all on top of each
Right.
other. There's like so many.
Hence this park.
Yeah,
as
no,
we're
it's for real. And like it's so diverse. It's very diverse, and there's just like a fresh vibe. But at the same time, like, and I miss Kansas City a lot. You know, I mean, like there's like a special spark to the people in Kansas City.
Yeah.
There's a unique like passion for the city, which is really cool. So I've really learned to love both places a lot. Like
That's
cool. I feel like I love Kansas City more.
Okay.
Since I've moved away, and
It's like absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, yeah, that would be nice right now.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But I also like, I don't know, I love like having a new adventure and like new places to explore, and I can drive 5 minutes that way and be in a place that I've never seen before and be like, where am I? So just like exploring new possibilities is cool.
Well, was crazy as I drove in late at night and I came in through the mountains, but I just didn't process it. I was super tired. I woke up this morning, went outside. I was like, oh, there's a mountain, you know, and
there's mountains like
I love
all
that.
around LA. Yeah. And it's actually really cool because there's like trails you can find, like hiking trails that are beautiful, like in the middle of like there's this city, there's tons of people everywhere, and then like you'll go down this road and there will be a hiking trail that'll like go through a mountain.
That's pretty awesome.
And it's weird. You're like, is this the same? Did we teleport somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, a little jealous about that because there's
Yeah.
no mountains in Kansas City.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's beautiful. Like if you just like drive on one of the interstates or freeways and like look around, like there are mountains all over. And I didn't realize that either, that it's surrounded by mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't process it. And I've been to LA before, but for some reason this time coming through, I like rolled in and I woke up this morning, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in LA.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that. There's mountains. It's pretty legit. So,
Yeah.
So one reason I'm doing this is because I love to hear what makes like people tick in general. And so these concepts of living a great life and creating great things seem that drive artists, but it seems to come from different directions for artists. So for you personally, if you had to define it, what is living a great life to you?
Living a great life is having good people, amazing people around you. I think living a great life personally, I think it includes like animals, like having a pet, dogs, cats, you know, whatever.
Which you were saying you miss not having right now.
Right. Oh, well, I was able to get a cat. I got a
nice.
cat a
Okay.
couple weeks, like a month
So you
ago.
are living the great life now.
Yeah, I have a cat now.
Nice. What's the cat's name?
We named her Nairobi.
Nairobi.
After
Nice.
a show on Netflix, one of the characters, her name is Nairobi, and she's
Okay.
badass. So I was like, Nairobi.
There you go.
So
So having pets, right? Is part
yeah,
of it.
I think personally because I don't know, they just add something, so they add more love to your life. And having great people around you and having something that you're passionate about. Like, honestly, I can't, like, as frustrating as music can be, and every musician knows, it's frustrating, it's hard. Sometimes you're just like, I just want to quit, like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I've tried several times. It's like, nope, hanging it up.
You can't, because you're passionate about it, and that's, I think, like, living a great life and like being happy involves like having something you're passionate about, and like having something that you're looking forward to, and like having a dream in your head, like, oh, someday, like, it's going to be like this, and like this is how my life is going to be, and like that's like what keeps me going, because I just, like, I want it really bad.
And it gets you up in the morning, watching those marketing
and
videos.
It's something to work on,
Yeah.
and it's something to like be invested in. So I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it sounds a lot for you is about connection, whether to people, to animals, like finding
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
And then the passion. So I dig that. That passion piece seems to be a common theme running through a lot of these interviews as I talk with artists, where, yeah, it's like the stuff, you know, even for me, it's like I think I'm on like day 9 of a 21-day tour, but like there's some days it's just such a long day on the road, and I'm away from my family, away from the people that I love and miss, but it's like, remind yourself, why am I doing this? And if you're not passionate about it, it's just not gonna, you just won't have the energy, won't have the strength to keep doing it. So
Right.
when you think about creating things, how would you define creating great things for you?
Creating great things. But you know what's interesting about that is that I think that greatness is, or like things that people enjoy, it's so objective. So like something that I think is great may be different than something that you think is great. Yeah. So I think like if you turn on the radio and there's like a young hip-hop guy doing his thing, and you might be like, this music sucks, but there's people out there who like, that's like what they love, like they you know, obviously like they have careers, so
someone's buying
somebody's
it, someone's coming to the shows,
somebody's buying it. So like, I don't know, I think like creating, as long as you're creating something that you identify with, I think that you're going to have a market for it. And I think like somebody, and there's billions of people on this planet, somebody is going to connect to what you're doing. Somebody's going to think you're great. There's songs that I wrote like 5 years ago that I have out on Spotify, and I'll have people like that I've known for a while, or even people that I don't know, and they'll like have listened to my songs, and they'll be like, oh, I really like this one. And I'll be like, really? Like, that one's old, and
like,
I don't even like it.
That one. I want to take it off Spotify, but apparently I can't now.
Exactly, no, for real. Like, I thought about taking my old project off of Spotify, but I have people who like it. And then I'll go on my Spotify for artists, and I'll see like, oh my gosh, Lovely was streamed like 50 times like within the last week or whatever. I can't take that down. Right. Because those people won't be able to hear
listening
it.
to it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is funny where there's some songs one song that when we did live was like the one people just gravitated to.
Yeah.
And it almost didn't make it on the album because I was like, this song's trash. It shouldn't be on the album, and everyone else outvoted me.
Yeah.
And so it got on the album, and I'm glad it did.
Yeah.
But I just didn't get it. And they're like, and I wrote it, and I'm like, I wrote it, but I don't get it now. And but apparently
like,
someone else needed that. So if I hear you right, it's creating something that's true to you.
Exactly. Yeah, like just creating, I guess, again with the passion, like creating something you're passionate about and that like is an extension of you as a person. And that's like what's so cool about making music is like, this is an extension of me that potentially thousands, millions of other people can hear. Right. So like I said, somebody is going to connect with that, and I think that makes it great.
And I apologize, we had a hiccup right there at the end of the video, but really it was just kind of wrapping up. We had the audio, but the video cut out right there at that moment. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, all that good stuff. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the Live and Create podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment or a review.
The Live and Create podcast.